Thank you for acceptance to say something for our show. That is the last day of the MIPIM. First of all, say something about the MIPIM this year.
In general, it's more positive, or there's a more positive feeling than the previous 2 years in the post-crisis situation. People are tending to look to the future and looking towards a recovery in spite of concerns over the economic and financial crisis and the situation in the Eurozone. In general, people are putting a positive perspective on things, that they want to invest, they want to go forward with projects, and to put a positive gloss on the situation with the more stricter conditions imposed by banks and lenders. Therefore, better quality buildings and more sustainable buildings have to be developed. Secondly, investors are increasingly only prepared to buy sustainable and the better quality buildings that have some type of accreditation to LEED, to BREEAM, to one of the international accreditation organisations. With regard to Central and Eastern Europe, there's a lot of focus on Poland. Poland is viewed as almost a Central European country. It seems to have decided to cut itself off from Hungary, from Czechoslovakia. So Hungary is the big, attracting all the publicity, attracting all the media attention. Now, after Poland, the Czech Republic is attracting the most attention. Now, the problem is that those markets are already becoming overcrowded. Property is expensive and yields are compressing. Therefore, they turn to other markets. Firstly, Czech, Slovakia, then Hungary, Romania, then Croatia, and then possibly Serbia. Croatia has been attracting attention because it's now an EU member. Therefore, institutional investors are allowed to operate in the market and are already buying stock there. Now, the news is that Serbia has started accession negotiations. So therefore, in 2 to 3 years, possibly it could become a member of the EU, and it could be in a similar situation to Croatia. Previously, it has had problems attracting international developers and investors because of perceived economic problems and perceived political problems. Now, in the view of the EU, the political problems have been solved. So therefore, Serbia can concentrate on growth, developing its infrastructure and developing the quality of buildings, developing the quality of office space, retail outlets, hotels, a logistics network, and developing the infrastructure of the country in secondary cities like Novi Sad, in addition to Belgrade, which tends to receive most of the attention.
If I am good understand you, that means Serbia had a good invitation and good recommendation for the foreign investors now.
Yes, it's an alternative, as I said, to the overcrowded markets, increasingly overcrowded and more expensive markets. Poland, Czech are becoming more expensive and increasingly overcrowded. Historically, investors turn to other countries. They'll turn to Hungary, which has had economic problems and political problems. They will turn to Romania, a very large country, second largest new EU entrant after Poland, 2 million people. A lot of large cities, a lot of secondary cities in addition to Bucharest. Therefore, there's a lot of development opportunities and a lot of investment opportunities.
Okay, you are the editor-in-chief of the Euro Property. Could you explain us and to introduce what doesn't mean and what is the value of your magazine, and where is the place in the European publishing in these things about the real estate?
With our magazine, we regard Central and Eastern Europe as a niche market within Europe. It has a minority of attention from medias, from international developers and developers. It's regarded as an alternative market to Western Europe, to the big established countries, to France, Germany, the UK, and so on. Therefore, the perception is that they have growth potential for development, and have growth potential in the establishment of an investment market. Now, we cover a lot of countries, and increasingly CE is not a regions but a group of regions. As I said, Poland tends to be on its own. Then we have possibly Central Europe, which consists of Slovakia, Hungary, the Czech Republic, possibly Croatia, possibly Belgrade in terms of Novi Sad joins onto Hungary. That's Central Europe. Eastern Europe now seems to consist of Russia and the Ukraine. Now, Russia is a completely different ball game to the rest of Central and Eastern Europe, even though we cover it. It's a different political system, it has a different political culture, it has a different economic system. Now, the other developing region is Southeastern Europe, Romania, Bulgaria, and the former Yugoslav countries, obviously the largest, Serbia and Croatia, and the smaller former Yugoslav countries, Montenegro, that is attracting a lot of leisure developers, investors. Macedonia offers potential, possibly Bosnia if it could sort out its political problems. But it's essentially the four main countries, Croatia, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, who are viewed by developers, investors, consultants as a distinct region, in that they have more growth potential than Central Europe, more development potential than Central Europe, and therefore companies will move there because they are still less congested than the Polands and the Czech Republics and so on.
Okay, last 4 years, I think, in each of the yearly issuing in the Your magazine, existing the subject about the Serbia. What is the subject for the MIPIM in your magazine?
As
about
regards to Serbia?
Yes.
As I said, Serbia is regarded as a potential investment destination and a development destination. EU accession will occur at some time in the future. It's regarded as solved its political issues and therefore has growth potential. Growth potential for development in the office market. More companies will require a better standard of office space in Belgrade, in spite of the fact that it has high vacancy rates, which is regarded as problematic. Retail is offered is regarded as a potential growth area. Not many designer outlets. The first one, which is opening on India on the outskirts of Belgrade, that's regarded as an interesting market. Secondary cities, Novi Sad and so on, have potential for shopping centre development. If it can improve its infrastructure, the road network and so on, then the logistics market offers growth potential. It could become as a logistics hub, to Greece, to Bulgaria, to Romania, to Hungary, to Croatia. It's well positioned to become a logistics hub, but that requires an improvement of the infrastructure of the road network. With EU accession, Serbia will get grants, finance from the EU to improve the infrastructure.
Okay, and the last question is, okay, what do you think about the quality of the real estate conferences which already existing in Serbia, like Rebec? Rebec will be this year in the middle of the June. What is your recommendation for the subjects to be, how to say, like invitation for some visitors from the region or from the Europe? What is the name of the subjects of this kind of the conference in the Serbia, to be, how to say, invite someone and to attract them to be present and to see what's going on in the Serbia, comparing the region?
Serbia needs to publicize its potential. So therefore a development of the office market, a development of the logistics market, a development of the retail market, and the development potentials in hotel leisure. On top of that, it should provide information based on those sectors. Once there's a development, then you can look at investment possibilities, the possibilities for investment in the country. The obstacles to investment, like lack of institutional grade buildings, but the potential for more development which will create a market for institutional grade buildings. Yields are higher, so Serbia will attract more opportunistic investors, but at some point more German funds, more Austrian funds will start to move into the market. Some of them aren't allowed to operate outside of the EU, but what occurred with Central Europe in the first wave of EU accession was that the system and the infrastructure was put in place even 2-3 years before EU membership. So EU membership is a process rather than it's 12 o'clock and we're now a member of the EU. Everything will be put in place slowly and in a gradual sense. So more developers will start to move into the market, and then more investors will start showing interest in the market. Historically, Serbia could be like Slovakia, like Hungary, like Romania. Already, as I said, the Polish market is overcrowded. The Czech market will soon get overcrowded, 10 million people. It's not a big country. Therefore, investors will start to look increasingly at Serbia as an alternative investment destination. Once the safeguards are in place, the legal and social framework which EU accession, EU membership requires. So they will have confidence in the country as a destination, and then be increasingly prepared to consider that as a destination for development, for investment and so on.
Mr. Craig, see you in the Belgrade in the middle of the June.